Hey guys, welcome to day 4 of my 90 days through the New Testament. So I'm reading through the New Testament with my church and felt compelled to share each day just something that stuck out to me from the reading, specifically for those of you who are interested in Jesus, interested in the Bible. Maybe you don't go to church, maybe you don't really have any Christians that you can ask questions to, or maybe you don't feel comfortable asking questions, but you're interested to know what's in the Bible. So I'm going to share with you every day for 90 days, and today is day 4. So yesterday, right? Today is day 4, yeah. Yesterday, in the text, we saw that Jesus began performing all these crazy miracles, really showing his power. And then today, starting in Matthew chapter 10 and going through Matthew chapter 12, but beginning in chapter 10, Jesus essentially takes his 12 closest followers, his disciples, and he sends them out to go preach and to perform miracles as well. And as I was reading it, I was thinking about how exciting that probably was for them to hear, oh my gosh, we get to go and we're going to be given the same power to perform these miracles. That is insane, and how cool that would have been to hear. And then Jesus starts telling them what it's going to be like. He says, but okay, first of all, when you go, don't take anything with you, like no money, no clothes, no sandals, not a walking stick. Don't take anything, because people are going to be out there and they're going to take care of you. And and by the way, just so you're aware, a lot of people aren't going to actually want to hear what you have to say, so be prepared to be arrested and beaten. I'm imagining what it would have been like for me. I would have been all about the miracle performing and not so much about having to trust other people to take care of me and potentially be arrested and beaten. I'm just honest. That's what it would have been like. I think for me, I can imagine possibly the disciples feeling a little doubtful, maybe a little scared about what they were about to be called to do. But Jesus says multiple times in chapter 10, as he's explained to them what they're going to do and what it's going to be like, he says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And then he says in verse 39, listen, if you cling to your life, you're going to lose it. But if you give up your life for me, you'll find it. And there is really something about setting aside our own abilities, our own expectations and assumptions and beliefs, setting those down and accepting Jesus's life, Jesus's teachings, all of that stuff. That there's something about that being true life. And so that was just something that really stuck out to me that I wanted to share. Then in chapter 11, it goes on and it talks about John the Baptist. So he was the one that was going around preaching and preparing people for Jesus's ministry to begin. And he's been arrested. He's in prison. And some of John's disciples, he sends them to Jesus. So John is like, hey, disciples, go to Jesus, and I need you to ask him, are you the Messiah we've been expecting, or should we keep looking for someone else? And of all the people in the entire Bible, John should have been the most confident in who Jesus was. And so I love that this is included in the Bible, because the Bible is not just a bunch of stories of men and women that were perfect and never made any mistakes and never doubted. This, the man who should have had zero doubt, doubted who Jesus was. And I love that that's in there for us, because it's so encouraging. It's such a great reminder that at different points, we're going to doubt. Maybe you, if you're listening, you have never placed your faith in Jesus because you doubt that he actually is who he said he was. Or maybe you doubt the Bible. Like, was that really written by God, or was that just written by a bunch of men? And I love that that's in there, because it shows us that doubt is okay, but it's what we do with the doubt that, changes the trajectory of where we go. Because Jesus says to John's disciples, he says, go back and tell John, God blesses those who do not turn away because of me. There are going to be things that I say, things that I do that are not what you expect. And you're going to be blessed if you don't turn away because I don't meet your expectations. And so I think just really, I loved that as a good reminder for me, and I wanted to share that with you. And then chapter 11 ends with Jesus praying and giving us this just beautiful little statement about what it means to be his follower. And that's what I wanted to end with today. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it. And Jesus says, so this is Matthew chapter 11. If you want to look it up for yourself, it's chapter 11, verses 25 through 30. And he says, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, thank you for hiding these things from those who think themselves wise and clever, and for revealing them to the childlike. Yes, Father, it pleases you to do it this way. That's the first half. And I love that because if we think we have all the answers, we probably won't turn to Jesus. If we think we have, life all figured out and all the things, if we stand on our own wisdom and our own cleverness, we may just miss what life is really all about. And I think it's cool that Jesus is like, hey, if you're willing to set aside your pride, if you're willing to, come humbly before me, I'll reveal all sorts of cool things to you. I love that. And then jumping down in verses 28 through 30, Jesus said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. A yoke would have just been a metaphor for his teaching. So take my teaching upon you. Let me teach you, because I'm humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. That's really good for me. For any of you, I hope that that's an encouragement to you, that coming to Jesus can be challenging. We saw that at the beginning, right? Like the disciples, he's like, you're going to come to me and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. And there's something that happens when you follow Jesus. He does give you rest for your soul, and it is worth it. So anyway, that's what I had for you today. I hope you guys have a great day. And if you have any questions or comments, let me know. If I don't hear from you, then I'll see you guys tomorrow.